kidding. What's up? What's up? Happy Wednesday. Phil stuck.
I'm doing my man Snoopy. I'm doing Snoopy in Woodstock.
Oh,
You know
you
what I
sure
mean?
were? Wait, go back into it, Phil. Yeah. Wait. There he is. There he is. I love it. Wait, let me catch you. Do it one more time because let me catch a picture of it.
It says, keep looking up. That's the secret of life.
I love it, honey. Hey, everyone on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Happy Wednesday, everybody. So glad to see you all. Hey there, Philly Willy.
Hey, Ona. Yeah, that was a gift from my kids.
I love it. It is so
birthday.
wonderful for your birthday.
Because Snoopy and Snoopy's my favorite cartoon character of all time. He's the Kobe Bryant of newspaper strip comics, and Peanuts is my favorite comic strip of all time. I mean, I loved them as a child. They were my thing. I think Charles Schultz was my surrogate father at a certain point. It was I learned so much, and if you watch any of those strips and you learn and listen to any of that, like Winnie the Pooh, it is not just for kids. It is really a very interesting social experiment that Charles Schultz and A.A. Milne were kind of kicking around back then. And as a kid, it resonated big time with me. So I have almost every Charles Schultz book, Peanuts book in my library, and my kids, they know that about me. So they gave me that. They saw it as an extension of me. It was wonderful.
It's perfect. And I want to tell you guys, in elementary school, Phil was doing a little play, and it was about something else. He was on stage, and all of a sudden he started dancing.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing the Snoop dance. He was over there dancing.
Oh, it took me over. Something happened. It changed me.
He tore the house down. Tore the house down. It was that was the beginning of what you see today.
That was the beginning, and then I had a long time in between where I didn't do anything because I was the athlete guy, right? I was doing the sports thing, and I really couldn't find my way to the acting expression until later. But that moment was.
It was special.
Beautiful.
It was special.
Yeah, it's what it's that thing that infects you. You know what I mean? And it's just like it gets you. You're like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I know. And you think about all those things like when you were a kid that you did, that you just doing it because you're a kid, and then you turn around and go, wait, I'm doing stuff like that as an adult that you didn't even think about. I can remember I was doing a show in elementary school where I was playing, it was a musical review. I was playing Anita and oh God, from West Side Story, Anita and Maria. And they were like, we're very confused now. And I changed costume and come on out. Now, who would have ever thought that, well, of course, Dad was in the business and Mom was a singer, but still, you're not thinking about what you're going to do for a living. And now I look back and go, oh, I remember that show created something within me that brings me.
You have no fear, right? I mean, they were like, I don't know how you're doing it. You don't even know how you do it. You just do it. It's just a matter of being a kid and letting that imagination take flight. I watch a lot of, obviously, actors interviews and stuff like that. They're very inspirational, whether it's a Denzel or a Meryl Streep, or now it's Walton Goggins is kind of like the new flavor, the guy who's on the White Lotus, and he's been in so many things. I first saw him in The Shield. He was fantastic as this racist cop. He was so fantastic.
Good. So good.
One of my favorites. And he was talking about the work and just saying, it's really about staying childlike and playing. That's why they, for me, that's why they call them plays. That's why they call them screenplays, teleplays, play. You're playing. You're playing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
when you access that moment inside of you that is just childlike with all the wonder and curiosity and willingness to express and fearlessness, and that's when you stumble upon interesting characters. You know,
That's right.
for me anyway, far more than sitting down and exploring and surgically exacting the behavior and the nuances and stuff. Yes, that I think that is important to a degree, to the degree that it serves you and it impels you to act. Right? If it's just an intellectual exercise, not so much. But when you're staying a kid and you're following those childlike instincts, man, and you just have passion and you don't know the limits of your talent because it really isn't about that. It's just about what's in front of you to do. Who's this person that I'm now playing, you know?
Mhm.
And I found that really refreshing. I was really happy to hear that from a, well seasoned, very successful, on the money right
Actors.
now actor.
Yeah,
It was
you're having
wonderful.
fun. You got to have
Yeah.
fun and play
Yeah,
like
man.
kids play.
Yeah,
When
man.
you play kids, when you tell kids, okay, we're gonna. Well, I remember when we were girls. Okay, you're gonna cry in this little. You bring mommy and you'll be daddy, and you're gonna cry, and this is what you're gonna cry about, and you just bam cry on the spot, or you get mad on the spot because you're just playing. Your vessel is just open. And I'm one who likes to sit down, dissect, and go through everything, and then throw it all away
Mm-hmm.
when I work. Just throw it all the
Mm-hmm.
way. It's the basis of my like information. It's my roux that I use.
It's
And
so
then
important. And, I was watching something else. Can we talk about this a little bit more? The work, the act, because I love it. I love it. And it leads into everything that we're going to talk about. I feel
mm-hmm,
anyway. But
mm-hmm.
I was watching another one with Vincent D'Onofrio and um, oh God, what's the guy's name? Dead Poet Society. He was in Training Day. The White Cat. He's so good. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke.
Oh,
And
Ethan.
and D'Onofrio was giving an illustration of the method,
Mm-hmm.
of emotional replacement and those sorts of things. And he used simple language, don't, stop, this isn't right. So that as line readings, he did like those line readings, just flat, blop, 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 blop. And then he attached his emotional reality to it, which was he saw something very important to him, whatever that thing was, right? It wasn't important. It's not important to us. It wasn't important for him to tell us what it was. It's just important for him to have it. So then those lines became urgent. They became don't, stop.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't right. It was so wonderful
Mm-hmm.
that, and for me as an actor and for you as an actor, those things are not that challenging, I would say, because we are available to our emotions. We're not afraid of them. I feel no judgment about sharing them or showing them at any point because that's my craft. That's what I'm there to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what moves me, and hopefully will move the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes along with that, right? I don't put anything on it, and that's what he was saying. He doesn't put anything on it. I see the thing that's important to me. I know what's important to me, and I'm using the very same words that I just said to you. The don't stop. This isn't right, but it's so weighted because it has a human emotion behind it, as a human relationship to the word, as opposed to just the word. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's what playing will do for you. It'll give you a sense of how to say those words, how to say those lines as the character.
Puts
It's
on
kind of
an
beautiful.
emotion on it that you're not. It could be just something so simple, like you said. Ah, Patricia, yeah. So simple, just like you said. And when you just say the words and then you put an emotion on it, you put a thought behind it, a feeling behind it,
Mm.
and just simply say it, it's so deep and resonant in what you're doing. Um, yeah, yeah. It's so important to watch those shows and listen to other actors. I think it's great to hear what other people are doing in their work, their process, what they're thinking about, and it opens up your mind to new things. Always. There's so much value in listening to others in the craft of what you are interested in doing, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, being a business person, whatever that is. I belong to the master class that you can watch online, and I've watched many different directors speak, and it's wonderful. You know, I love to learn something. I don't know it all, and it's wonderful to learn something or to be affirmed in how I'm working. I just coached a young actor the other day, and oh, I was telling Phil, it was so exciting to work with him. He is not a trained actor. He's new, but he's got something. And what he had more than anything was he wasn't affected by acting. He didn't come to me acting. He came to me just being a real person and staying available. And that made it very easy for him to take the notes, the things I was telling him, simple things like, listen, I can see you waiting for your cue so you can say your line. Just
Hmm.
listen. Just be in the moment. Don't jump on it right away. Listen, we're just practicing. We're just rehearsing. We're just feeling out things. He said he went in today and on the scene that he worked on, which is part of something we're going to talk about today, which is surprises, things that happen that you're not expecting. He had three scenes. We worked on the very emotional scene. He thought that was the scene they really need me to work on. And I knew that was because he was not available to the emotion in the scene. We needed to get him there. And we did. That was the scene they didn't use today. But what was fabulous about it and was a lesson for him was he could use the work that was done for the other scenes that made them richer. And he said, I just had a conversation, Iona. That was very exciting for me to hear. The director jumped up after the first scene and said, what's been going on? What have you done since we saw you last? And
Beautiful.
that's so wonderful.
Are
I
you
was happy
you're
to hear
directing
that.
a play as well now? Are you seeing actors that come in and play, or are they, and this happens to all of us, or are we bound by trying to get the job, bound by trying to impress the director, bound by trying to, you know what I mean, get it right, as
Oh yeah.
opposed to just play with it?
Uh,
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a couple of people who came in and are playing, and one
Mm,
woman who actually said to me, okay, I'm ready. Let's play. Oh, I fell in love with her right away.
mm.
She is my fanny. She is so good. And then I've seen other actors. I had one yesterday who came in and posed. He didn't listen, he was waiting for his line.
Mm.
So I'm seeing a lot of that happening. And then people who are not doing the work. I
Or they
know
don't
that
know they don't know
it,
the text,
they don't
or
know the text. They aren't doing the work. They aren't looking at the work. And then I have other actors. I'm seeing a combination, is what I should say. I'm seeing a combination. I've had a couple of actors who I know looked at documentaries, who I know have really studied these are iconic characters: Fannie Lou Hamer, Sidney Poitier, and Harry Belafonte. So I'm seeing a mixture of actors, and it's not always the ones who are working a lot who are the ones who come in most prepared. It's not always. It's the ones who are excited.
mm,
Acting should
mm,
be the best
mm,
of yourself. And what if
mm,
you were in real life the character you're playing? Exactly, Ward. I don't want you to come in and act for me. I want you to be in the space of where that person might be, to walk in their shoes, to what's important to them that resonates with you. What's and these are iconic characters, so I definitely want to see you at least try and move some like Harry. I really don't want anyone to come in and do all of Harry's voice on the audition because I know you're just pretending, but just
mm.
the essence of that. And then when I give you a note, I want to see you take it and just have fun with it and make it your own. The guy who I hired playing um Sydney, oh my God, wait till you see him. He was really good at first. And then I gave him a couple of notes. He digested, he said, okay. And he just ran with it. And what happens, you guys, that I love is when you run with it and you're not in your head. What you've decided, if you've decided it's in your body, trust that and just play.
Hmm. What about your Harry?
Oh, I haven't found my Harry. I haven't found my Harry. I've got two guys coming in tomorrow, and I just had a dear friend of ours send me a picture of a guy who looks perfect. But I've had a couple of perfect looking pictures, but he looks really good. I can see in his eyes something that is there, and so I hope he comes in tomorrow. And if not, he'll come in on Friday morning. And I'm waiting for him to walk in the door. I'm I am knowing that I'm going to have my Harry. And I've already decided on what I'll do for the first 2 days of rehearsal if I don't have him yet. But I know he's going to come. I have to.
Mm.
So anyone out there who knows anyone in Los Angeles who is around 35 to 40 who could play Harry Belafonte, have them reach out to me. Because I'm looking, and the play is fantastic. Every actor I send the play to loves it. And the only reason why I don't have Harry is because they've had scheduling problems.
Well, tell everybody what the play's about, so they're not. I don't think we talked about it at all, have we? We didn't think we
Yeah,
talked about it
we've
last
talked
week.
about it, but I don't
Okay.
mind telling everybody again. The name of the
Yeah.
play is Greenwood, 1964, and it's a true story about Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier when they took $60,000, excuse me, down to Mississippi, and meeting them in the middle of the night, in the darkness of night. They thought they were going to have security. They took it down there for SNCC and for other civil rights organizations. Several people were there to meet them, and also on the drive was the KKK. And they chased them into hiding for 2 days. And that's the story. It's mainly Harry and Sidney, and Fannie Lou Hamer has been the dramatic license that the director, I'm sorry, that the writer has added so brilliantly, because she brings the voice of the people in Mississippi into the play. And she also brings the thought to the gentleman of them being privileged, and though they're fighting, have they forgotten really who they're fighting for? Have they forgotten where they come from? It's a wonderful piece. And as a matter of fact, the writer sent the play to Sydney 11 years ago, and Sydney called him a week later. Loved the play.
Mm.
So it's been sanctioned by Sydney. He sent it to Harry. Harry did not reach out, but he did meet Harry, and Harry had wonderful things to say to him. So I'm looking for Harry Belafonte between 35 and 40. You can DM me, and I will respond. And it's at the Greenway Court Theater, and I'll let you guys know all of that as we get along. But it's
we'll
very
publicize
exciting.
Yeah. Quentin says he has an audition this weekend for a comedy. So yeah, go out there, especially comedy. Shoot, if you ain't having fun doing a comedy audition, you ain't doing it right.
Please.
You gotta have fun doing comedy, and it doesn't matter if it's too big. Really, honestly, to me, I like realistic comedy as much as anybody, but I love character comedy as well. So good luck, man. Just swing for the fences. Have a good time.
Have fun. And I will tell you this. I want actors to come in and have fun and play and make choices, bold choices. And if it's the wrong choice, I'm okay, because you made a choice. Now I can give you a direction to take. And if you're used to making choices, you have a good foundation, you can fly with that and do something different. Make a little switch in there. So Quentin, go on there and have fun, baby. Show them what you're working with.
Yeah, just play and know that no one can do you but you, and it doesn't matter who else is there. If it's an in-person audition, if it's a self-tape, then that's okay too. But know that you're going to bring whatever you have, and that no one else can bring what you have. So whatever it is, make it the best that you can, and then bring that to them. And if it is a self-tape, you're going somewhere to put it on tape, or you have somebody coming to help you with it. My suggestion is always to do the scene the night before, or scenes, whatever it is, the night before. Do it a bunch of times, just on your own phone. You can film yourself, do it yourself. If you have somebody read, that's great. If not, you can always approximate the response. But before you do it for real, I always like to do it a ton of times prior, so that I am set with it, so that I know this material, I know this character, I've made my mistakes. Not to say I won't
Mhm.
make it in the self tape, but I've done all of that. I've gone over it, I've looked at it, I've savaged myself, I've critiqued myself, I've praised myself. All the things that are honest for you. What I like to do if it's a self tape audition is to do it myself before I go there, before I do it for real, a bunch of times the day or night before,
Do
just
you
so that
record
I
it,
feel
Phil?
good.
And you
Oh,
record it?
absolutely, every single one of them, and I watch them and I look at them, and that's when I do
Mhm.
my deep dive. And then the next day, even if I'm taping here at home, I don't do that. I just try to let it go. Like Anna was saying, I try to let it go.
Mhm.
Try to let it be fluid and flow and organic and all those things that you hear, authentic and interesting, and let the moment take me, so that there's something in that moment that does
Mm.
surprise me, and then hopefully it'll surprise the person who's watching, and we can get the job.
The one thing you said I love, surprise yourself. That's so important. And I love what you're saying is you read it over and over again, do it and do it, know the story of what you're doing in and out. Even if it's a last minute, read it, know what's there. So your head isn't like this. And please
Mm-hmm.
don't have, okay, I've got the paper, don't have your head like this in the paper. I had somebody doing that today. I
Ah,
can't see you. Don't do that. Have it up and look at it. Look at the person you're supposed to be reading with. So you're having
use the
real
room.
dialogue.
Use the room.
Exactly. Use your body. Some
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy come in today who was very stiff. And I told him, play, move. He did one thing, and I took that and I said, you see how you moved your arm? You were moving there, move. He ended up bending down when he had an emotional moment, and it was real. And he didn't move before. He was freer in what he's doing. And that's what we're looking for. How free are you? And we don't care if you have mess up on the text. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's an audition. We're looking for what's inside here. We're looking for, are you fun to work with? Are you having a good time? Even if it's a serious piece. Are you in it to win it? Are you having a conversation? Are you acting? Are you listening? Are you being honest? Are you being honest? That's what we're looking for. And we're not looking for anybody to have as a friend. So you don't have to come in with all that, hey, hi, how you doing? So nice. We're really not.
Couple
And
things about all that. Go ahead.
and trust me on this. Every casting director, every director, every producer in that room, even if we're sitting there like this, which we generally are, we want you to win. Because if you win, we win. If you come in here and knock our socks off, oh, you've just made our job so much easier. So don't interpret what their faces look like, even if they're laughing, because you never know if they're laughing with you or at. You never know what's happening. So don't let their faces screw you up. You to you.
That
All right.
there's a bunch of stuff in there, and I love that we're getting on this. It's important to me, anyway. Um,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's important to me. It's important to all of us. Look at this
Playing the
conversation.
room, and you can transition this to whatever it is that you do in your life. We just happen to be actors. This is what we know. This is what we do. Um, Using the room is important. Using the room is important because it shows them that you have a sense of reality. A
Mm-hmm.
sense of connectivity, a sense of interconnectivity in relationship with the world, not just what you're about and what you look like and where you are, but you're extending yourself. If I have a scene where I'm talking to several people in the room, but I'm only really addressing one, I will use the producer or the executive who's there as the other
Mm-hmm.
member of the board or the whatever it is that they're supposed to be, the jury member or whoever it's that I'm supposed to be speaking to, so that I can make a direct connection with them. I might say something to them or ask them something or yell at them because I want them to know that this is all the playground. Playground is all around me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm willing to play everywhere with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really important. Forgetting a line, I'll forget a line on the set, having the job. So forgetting a line isn't important. That's not the important part. It's how you forget the line, how you drop the line. I'll call for a line in character. Like if I miss the line, I don't know what the line is. I'll be like line, and I'll just wait. I'll wait until they can be like, okay, I got it, and then I'll go on because I want them to know I'm committed to this individual,
Yeah.
and I will make the mistake in that character. Or if it's a joke, I'm like, okay, what's the line? I'm sorry, what's the line? You know, whatever it is that the character is going through at the time, I will want to ask for that line because I'm not the kind of actor who uses the script when I do an audition. I want to be off book. I don't think my characters walk around with a book or the script. That's just my own personal process. So I usually don't carry the script with me in any of my auditions. So if I do forget the line and I'm in an in-person audition, which is rare these days, I'll call for the line in character, and they don't mind that at all. They
Mm-mm.
actually then like, oh my, oh yeah, where yeah, that line. You didn't say. Well, I got it. You didn't say nothing, bitch, or whatever it is. Whatever it is I'm supposed to be saying.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
producer will bleep that. Anyway, that's just to stay in that moment, man. To
That's
stay in that
right.
groove and not take yourself out. And that's what they want. You know, they don't want you to be word perfect necessarily,
Mm-mm.
unless the dialogue is incredibly important and has a lot of information, and that's a different. That might be a little bit different, but usually it's just a sense of what the scene is and who the characters are.
Word, I'm gonna bring up what you have to say, but I don't want to forget about this thought I have. When you go on an audition, also what I really enjoy is the opening. Some actors come in, they audition, and they go, "Okay, I'm ready," and then they start. And
Mm.
I'll give them space. I say, "I'll tell you what, take it off of you. Start when you're ready." Okay, and they start. I enjoy the quiet moment before you begin. I enjoy watching you get settled, possibly walk around the room, look around the room, feel the space. Because then I know when you're on that stage, you're going to use that. I know that you're going to, just what Phil's talking about, you're going to make that space come alive. One of the things I loved about the young man we hired to play the Sydney role is he didn't speak for a moment before he started. And he dropped in to the character, looking around the space and feeling being this tall guy in this attic, this dirty, cold, dirty, hot space because it was in the middle of the South. And I felt that. And then I know that he's going to bring that to the play. And as we investigate more in rehearsal, it'll even deepen. So don't feel rushed in that room. That's your time. That's your space. Own it and claim it, and we will come along with you.
And if you are there, okay, look, a lot of ways to do this. That's one way. The other way is when you've prepared yourself and you're sitting on the boil and you're waiting for them to call you. And they like, and they gone through Carl, and then gone through James, and then gone through Robert, and then gone through Ernie, and then gone through Vincent, and then gone through Jamie, and then now it's Phil. Like, yeah, you know, and I am ready, man. I've been walking the hallway. I've been doing this in my car. I am ready.
And don't
And I
forget the
get in
elevator.
there in the elevator, in the bathroom before, because you always got to take a little pee, you know, beforehand. It doesn't matter how many pees you had. You got to take a little pee beforehand because you're ready to go. You do battle. You're ready to rock. It's game time. And sometimes you walk in the room, man, and I'm like, let's do this. I walk, I'm like, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going down? I feel how you doing? Magical. I am ready for this. Let's go. That's just as exciting because I've seen people
Yes.
just get turned on because they know you ready. Look,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to go on now? What we about to see? You know. So there's two ways. There's two ways. It's all who are you in the moment? What is the situation telling you? Alan is right. You got to read yourself first. You read the character yourself. Set yourself in the given circumstances, and then walk into wherever. You know, for us, it's the Universals and the Paramounts and the MGMs, the Sonys of the world, Warner Brothers. And it's big stuff, man. It's not kid stuff. It's like real stuff. And so it is like playing athletics. It is like being on a championship team. You have to consider it that way. I do anyway, so that when
Mm-hmm.
I'm at those places, I do feel like it's Madison Square Garden or the Astrodome or the, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We playing this high stakes,
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes it takes that consideration. It takes the grounding, and sometimes you are just, man, you're just ready to go. And another thing Iona was talking about, when you go in the room, and let's say Iona's in the room, and I'm reading for Harry. Of course, I'm too old. We spoke of this last night at dinner. Um, but
Doggone it.
but I have got to do. Iona can't be my friend and my sister in that moment. She's got other people that she's got to answer to. She's the director. Now there's the producer, there's a money person, there's a writer. And if it's a big project, like a lot of the network projects that I go on, and I know people because I've been in this business for so long, I know them. I know them well. I've been to dinner with them. I know their kids. I know them. They can't give me any shine yet.
Mm-hmm.
They got to let me do my thing. And then when I do my thing and I leave, and if one person in there's like, yo, that's the dude, they're like, yep, I knew that's the dude. Yeah, I know Phil. Blah, 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 blah. That's when they can talk about their relationship with you. But if they start cheesing on you beforehand, it could hurt
Oh
you.
God, the
You
setup.
know.
You never want anybody to set you to. And there's also, and remember what I just said about being quiet. It's because I'm working on a drama. I'm working on a drama. So that is different. And
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't mean that you might not even walk in the room. And when you walk in the room, even if it's a drama, you might be like, hey, I'm good, let's go. There are so many ways to do it. It needs to be authentic to how you are feeling and what you know the text is.
Mm-hmm.
All of it works. There's no one way to do it. And there are sometimes you walk in and the director might step up and go, "Oh, Phil, love seeing you. Thanks for coming in." It all depends. But you never want anybody. It's like, "Oh my God, this guy is so great. He's so incredible."
Don't plan on it. Don't expect it,
Don't
and
don't
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 don't look for it.
absolutely don't. You the only thing you can count on, the only thing you know is going to happen when you go in that room is what you going to do. And remember this, it could change depending because you could forget a line and get flustered. I remember early on in my career, there were 3 jobs I got, and each one of them I forgot a line. And I would go, "Oh, wait a minute. What was it? Let me think." And I'd start laughing and they loved it. And I got the part. And I think it's because I didn't go, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. What was the line?" Now, wait, she's going to fall apart if she forgets a line because everybody, I don't care how long they've been in the business, they're going to forget the line on the set, even if you come knowing it. You're just going to forget. Who knows? The actor
Mm-hmm.
may, your other actor may throw you something, may throw you, or doggone it, you just forget about it.
And
It's
in that
not
moment,
a
sometimes
big
when you're
deal.
like, "Hey, I'm gonna habity hoobity," they're like, "Oh, she's real.
Right,
I like that.
exactly.
Oh,
Thank
she's
you.
real. She can be the character, and she's real. Oh, I like
Right.
that."
Mm-hmm.
It's a twofer.
We
It's
can
really
have some
important. Hi,
fun.
Christopher Barrett.
Chris Barrett. So great to see you, honey. Ward Wilson says, "How are you? How are you? Can you improv as an actor in ways that the writers and directors didn't say on the script?" All depends on the script. All depends on. I'll I'll tell you my experience, and Phil can tell you his. I like to give the writer their lines. I want them to hear what they wrote. Sometimes I'll put a tag on it, drama or comedy. Sometimes I'll put a tag on it because of something that I feel that the character would have said in that moment. But I always want to give the writer what they wrote. And sometimes, especially if it's a comedy, they may say, "Hey, fly,
Mm-hmm.
be free." You
Mm-hmm.
definitely give us what we wrote. But what else would you say? They do that on voiceovers all the time. But it just all depends on the text. What would you say, baby?
I think early on, yeah, you have to stay committed to what's on the page because they've lived with this for a long time. You just received it a couple days ago, the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to hear what they wrote. They want to hear you bring that to life. That's who they're auditioning. That's what they're getting from other people. So that's what they want from you. I find that more prominent in drama. I think in comedy, there's more room for you
Mm-hmm.
to fumfer or improvise something that's in keeping with the proceeding and the given circumstances and the situation and the character, but might lift you to bring something that you need, in terms of that character or that you think is interesting or is funny. There's a lot of times where I've done certain things and they've laughed a lot and I haven't gotten the job and I'll say to them after the audition, say, "Look, I don't get that. You can have that line. You use that." Which is good for me. The thing Iona and I talk about these days a lot is our ownership of our experience.
Ah.
And a lot of times when you go into an audition, especially as a younger actor, you don't feel like you have ownership of your experience. You feel
Mhm.
like you're at the behest of the powers that are greater than you, the studios, this network, the producers, the casting directors, everybody, almost everybody, except for the other actors in the waiting room. And so there's certain things that you don't know, that you're not aware of until you've done so many auditions, so many jobs, been on so many sets, seen so many producers and ads and stage managers and wardrobe mistresses and makeup rooms and so forth. And then you
Mhm.
gain a certain experience, and you gain a certain ownership of your experience and a certain ownership of your journey.
Yeah.
And even then it's challenging because there are so many talented people, whether in the director's chairs that Iona is looking to get into now, or the actor chairs that I'm still in, that she's also in. There's just so many talented people that um, you have to have your unique process intact,
Come
so it
on.
keeps you sane, so that you can
Mhm.
keep going out there and doing your thing, because you're not going to bat 1,000. It's
Mhm.
impossible. There
Mhm.
are well-known established actors that don't get the jobs. Some of the most interesting things are when I see actors that tried out for Star Wars, or they tried out for this particular movie or that particular incredible franchise, and they didn't get it. And then they went on to become amazing actors, or have amazing careers. They were amazing actors anyway, but they had equally as amazing careers as the job that they didn't get, right? And so everybody is in the position of, I don't know, I don't
Mhm.
know. How
Mhm.
do I get them to see me?
Right.
How does my light shine the brightest, or be the most interesting, or the most engaging? And that's our challenge. And the more you can own that, um, the happier you'll be first, and then hopefully that will resonate, and you will have commercial success, whatever that means.
And no, young actors are young actors. It's not young by age. It's young in the craft. I want to speak to the waiting room. When
Mm,
you're in the waiting room,
okay. I'm like
um,
looking over here. The waiting room. Where's that? I want to see comments and guest chat. I
it
don't
just
do
came out
waiting.
of my
Oh,
brain. Just came out of
do
my
waiting
brain.
with me.
The waiting room. So in the
So
waiting
stupid.
room, I'll say hello to everyone, but I'm not chatting. I'm not talking. I have been in the waiting room with other actresses who will try and take you off your game. Purposeful. I've been in the waiting room where actors will come out going, ah, like they got it. Hey, and they didn't. They're missing
Yeah,
it.
or they come out. They go, "It's a really lively room. You're gonna
Right,
really
right,
like them. They're
right,
really good.
right.
They're laughers." You're like,
Or
"What if I
they'll
don't make
come,
them
or they'll
laugh? They're gonna
come
like
out
me?"
and they'll say something negative about the room. And whether they're right or not, it ain't your business because it gets in the way of your thoughts. So I'm always friendly. I'll say hello. Some of them, depending on the how intense. If it's an intense dramatic role, I might just walk in, we nod, and sit down and get to my work, and then not talk because it'll throw me off of what I'm still in the process of making sure that I've got a handle on. And that's the
Yeah,
most important thing. Even if your best friends are in the waiting room, you want to go up, you haven't seen them in a while. If you need to, say hello and sit your butt down because this is your time. You only have a finite amount of time. Doggone it.
you
Come
do
on.
that little thing.
Yep. Yep.
You did that thing, didn't
Come
you?
on. Do
Yeah,
the
you
thing. Yeah,
did. You
there it
got
goes.
that
Come on
Ozbot.
down for me. Come on down. Come on down,
See?
doggone. This fancy dancy thing. Okay, there you go, baby. Uh um it'll take you on you only have a finite amount of time when you get out of your
Yep.
car to get to that space, to go into that room to make the impression you want to make. So in the waiting room, don't. It's not time for you to party unless no, I'm not even going to say unless.
No, no, no. That's not you. That's not you. That might be somebody else. See,
Mhm.
you said something really interesting. It was like a slip, like almost a Freudian slip, but it was really cool. You said the rating room at first, and then you said waiting, right? You were rating waiting room. Isn't it a rating room though? If you play it the other way, people sitting there
Explain.
rating.
Explain.
People walk in. They sit there. They done sign their name, and they sit there. And then you walk in, and they rating you.
Oh yeah, everybody's looking at each other. That is so true.
That's it. That's why I put my head back and laugh because it was you're like the rating room, no, the waiting room. No, I you were right the first time
What is
because
she
if you
doing
play
here?
it,
What is he doing here?
yes, exactly. If you play it
Right
like these are
here.
my competition, I am in competition with you. You ain't in competition with nobody but you.
Mm-mm.
Nobody.
Mm-mm.
But we get it wrong because it's such a competitive, egotistical, agenda-driven visual business. I mean, we walk in the door. Do you look right? Are you wearing? Is he wearing the right? Oh, hell no, he's not wearing a suit. He ain't gonna get this. You know what I mean? It's the rating room, and don't get it twisted. People get caught out by that. They get caught
Yeah.
out, and don't let yourself get caught. Do what Iona's telling you. It doesn't matter if your best friend is there. Hug them up, love you. Got a job to do. We're gonna have lunch, a drink later. But right now, I got I got some shit I got to do, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't let you take me off my game. Any good acting coach will tell you when you start auditioning, start your professional career. One of the best things John Len, our coach, our shared coach, ever said. We've had several coaches, but
Mm.
the shared one that Iona and I had was a man named John Len, Lehne. Um, he says, remember, it doesn't matter who you know in the room, and I know a lot of people in the room have been in this game a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the executive, when you go into the audition and you know the people, executives in the room, no matter, you're the only one there without a job. Everybody in that room got a job. Everybody you're auditioning for has a job. So be friends later
That's
after you get
right.
your job.
That's right.
Don't let your friendship with them take you off what you're there to do.
That's right.
And that was really strong, really, really strong.
Yeah. And please, I know we said this before, but I think it deserves being mentioned again. Don't assume what the people in the room think about you by the expressions on their faces. Because they may look at you and tell you, you did a great job. Thank you so much for coming in. And you'll leave there going, I killed it. You might have, but you didn't get the job. Or in the room, you leave and thanks. And you walk out the door and they're like, that was her. That was
Exactly.
him.
Exactly.
Because I'm telling you, I'm telling everyone, thank you so much for coming in. That was lovely. Thank you for coming in. And they leave, and I'll wait till the doors close and they're gone. And my artistic director, the producer, looks at me and I go, no, let's move on to the next one. And then there are a couple of them who came in and I went, okay, thank you so much. And I was like, oh my God, they're fantastic. You just never, ever, ever know. There are two times I've gotten jobs when I was not in a good mood. One was when I took a red eye from LA to New York many, many years ago when I was up for As the World Turns Phil for Tooney's sister. I arrived at 6:30 and something happened with this is before Uber and Lyft. Something happened with the taxi. It was just I couldn't sleep on the plane. The ride was funky. Had to fly back from LA last minute. I got there, the casting director. I walked in, I was pissy. Oh man, I was pissy and I couldn't get out of it. I did the audition and I went to the door. I was leaving. My hand was on the door and the casting director said, "Good job." And I went, really? Okay, thanks. I left. I got the gig. Well, the role was for the bitch sister.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you acted.
It was
Mm.
perfect. If I walked in going, hey, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Just what you were talking about. The walking in as the character. If I'd done that, I wouldn't have gotten that job. Another one I
I,
got where I thought I did nothing in the audition. I just thought I did nothing. They loved it. They couldn't tell me how good my audition was because I was just being myself, which I thought was nothing. Isn't that something? I thought, oh, I
you
didn't
know
put
something?
anything on it. I didn't act. I was just me. That's what everyone's looking for. And if you don't get the job, use the experience. If you have an opportunity to have your representatives ask the casting directors what they thought and to give you feedback if they have an opportunity, terrific. And if not, just know that you did the best you can and continue to grow from the experiences. Your job is auditioning. You will audition more than your book. So don't bitch about the audition. Be grateful that you got an audition because a whole bunch of people didn't get it, but you did. K9 asks, have you seen the actors who've gotten the part you've auditioned for and thought, "Yep, that role was for them"? Hell yes. Yeah, I have. Phil,
Oh yeah, and I never. This is the mature, very mature thought here. I
is a very
never
mature
want what I
thought.
don't get. I never want what I don't get. So if I don't get it, it's gone. It's not meant for me. So I don't ever superimpose myself on the performance when I see somebody else do it. If they do it and it's a wonderful performance, good for them. If it's not a good performance, it's like any other movie or television show, I'm going to feel a certain way about it. It doesn't matter that I read for it, really, honestly. If I don't get it, I don't want it. And I don't think that it is for me if the gods, the consequences say it's not for me.
Mhm.
So I don't really lament too much of that stuff. There are certain things I turned down. I wish I hadn't turned down um, for certain reasons, but other than that, no. I just move forward, and I think that's the healthiest thing that you can do.
I think.
Because I'm gonna work plenty.
Sorry,
I do
baby. Go
plenty of
ahead.
work. I'm grateful for what I do. So
Hmm. I agree with you, Phil. I really, I've been up for roles that I've wanted, and I didn't get, and then I'll see what somebody else and I go, oh, I see what either they were looking for, or even if I haven't seen it, I bless that person who got it. Because if I'm going to be upset about that, then I can't be available for the next opportunity that's coming to me. Hear this. This is very important. Be grateful for the person who got it, or at least say, hey, I didn't get it. Move on. If you're going to be sad about it, lick your wounds and get over it quickly because something else is coming. I remember I was in New York. I was young. I went in for an audition and I had been out the night before. And I didn't spend as much time because I thought my shit didn't stink. And I was doing real good. I was booking, booking, booking. I didn't spend as much time with the work. And I went in for this job. It was like for something like an SVU. And the casting director said to me, could you act like you're smart? I, I couldn't believe she said that. I also knew I was tired and I was hungover. I was pissed at me for messing up that opportunity. I was so mad. I had an audition 3 hours later for a play. I went into that audition. My guns were blazing. I was full of energy and I was mad at myself. The I booked it and I ended up working with that director 3 or 4 more times after that. What I didn't do is I was mad at myself, but I didn't stay in that space. I knew that that was my fault. I got myself a cup of coffee. I got it together. I went on the next audition, and there was an energy behind me that fed me. I got that role. And there you are. And you never know. People fight for jobs, say, I should get that. I should get that part. That part should have been mine. They are missing the fact that the phone's about to ring and there's something else for you. And if you had that part, you couldn't have done this one. I have seen it happen so many times when someone didn't get something they just knew they were supposed to get, and they get something else that they would not have been able to do that was better for them. So, see, you got to trust the universe. You got to trust what is meant for you is meant for you. Soul Singer asks, Ione and Phil, is there a moment that comes to mind where you would have done an audition differently? Mr. Morris?
not off the top. No. Have I done bad auditions? Yeah. Do I remember them? No. I don't. I don't have one outstanding that I was like, oh man, if I'd have done it this way. There were ones I just wasn't right for. I wasn't ready.
When you
You
were
know,
younger,
we
did you do the audition in the elevator? You went, oh shit, that's what I should have done.
of course, of course, but I don't. But I don't remember any of them.
Gotcha.
You know,
Understood.
I think
Yeah.
that yeah, there's times where I left the best performance in my car before or after I left the audition. That's kind of like an athlete doing a bad performance, and it's not physically, you want that window of, you want training, and then here's the race, right? Here's the training and here's the race. And you want the training and the race to meet bop on May 15th, 3:30 in Mount Sac, whatever, right? But sometimes you miss the window and your performance just isn't as good. That teaches you something. So I don't will that away.
That's
I learned from where I wasn't in order to get it. And remember, it's not up to us. Iona's just told you she's come away from auditions thinking she didn't do anything, and she got it, or where she thought she slayed it, and she didn't get it. So a lot of it is not up to us. It's just what's up to us is the feeling we come away with, the feeling we bring to it. And David Peterson had mentioned that this is the part of the side of the profession that many people probably don't understand. Probably is not. Oh, no, they don't understand it. They do not know how the sausage is made, nor should they know how the sausage is made. They should only know if they like it or not. That's it. Unless you're another actor and you have vested interest in your journey, then you're going to look at it differently. We look at movies, I'm sure, differently than most people who don't do movies look at movies. But no, they shouldn't know how this goes. These are the secrets that we carry to our graves, and we reveal them to you because it's
mm-hmm.
interest, part of our human journey. But it isn't something that you need to understand in order to go to a movie and like a performance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so no, they do not understand the depth of challenge that this life can bring us. So yeah, um,
And
that's how that goes.
I just told you about mine. Yeah, I wish I'd done that audition differently, but I'm going to tell you what I really always think about. That audition was not meant for me anyway, but the lesson from the audition was. There's something else coming that's bigger than what that was that I need to be prepared for and to handle differently if I decide to go out the night before. I think about that with everything. Now, that's experience when I was 23, 25, and 30. Oh, heck no, I did not think that way. But experience has shown me that that is the truth. Everything is the lesson to help you grow and become a better human being. I don't care how old you are, there's still more in the pot for you to learn. There's still more tools out there in the world for you to put into your bag so you can be better at what you do, whatever it is that you do. Kate, oh, K9 asks, do you stop thinking about the audition for the rest of the day once it's done?
No, I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I don't. A lot of people say, let it go. Just let it go. Just go do the next thing. And they're not wrong. I mean, I think mentally it's healthy for you to do that. But it's almost impossible, especially if you care. I mean, if you care about the performance, you care about the character, you care about the project that it is. I mean, we audition, like we just said, audition for some heavy stuff, man. It's not light. I want this. And do you think I can go in there and kind of be, I really don't care? And they're not going to feel that? They're going to feel it. They being the people who will hire you. Because if I was just had the job, I wouldn't have to audition. So I have to make an impression on the people that are going to hire me, and I have to care about that. I have to care so deeply. I have to love this person. I have to love this character, love them, not like them, not think they're okay, not think they're a casual acquaintance. I have to be them. So I have to love them. It's very difficult to fall out of love that quickly. It's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult to leave them in your car after you've gotten home and you're in the garage and you. It's just impossible for me. I can't. And then I want it. I don't because I
Yeah.
don't do. I'm not reading for anything I don't want. I'm not just going in there for experience anymore. I mean, I might go because I have a relationship with a certain casting director and they've been very kind to me and I want to show them respect, but I'm still going to do the best job that I can do, and and hopefully they will feel that. But I got to feel it
Mm-hmm.
first, and it's really difficult to release that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Phil and I have called each other so much after an audition that he's done or I've done, or from a job where I've directed someone. We call each other and we talk about it. We share the moment. This is what I felt. This is how the room felt. This is da, 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 and you feel it, and it kind of lingers, and probably is like I said, honey, healthier to let it go. But none of us do because you want it, and you just kind of relive that moment. You
Mm-hmm.
check in with yourself all the time. Patricia says something here. Check this out. She says, when they always ask at the beginning of an audition if you have any questions, and I have said no, I felt right there I lost the part. like they were looking for a certain question for me to ask. Baby, you can't read their minds. You can't we can't read their minds. I've had that. I even ask actors now when they come in, do you have any questions? No. Okay. Let's see what you do. And generally I'm going to give you two readings. So then I'll see that there are questions maybe you should have asked, but you didn't know. I don't see that. Well, I'll say for me and people I've worked with, we're not going to hold that against you. You've made a decision about some things, an approach. If you, the actor, are going to stay in your head about not asking, like you've lost the job right there because you should have asked a question, then you can always say, well, is there something you want to tell me? Is there something that maybe I'm missing that I should know? Please let me know. Number one, it gets rid of the feeling within you because you've asked a question. And number two, if there is something, then maybe they'll say, well, yeah, there is blah, 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 blah. But that's a trick bag. That's not fair. That's not good for you to sit there and wonder if someone is going to ask this question. Now, I'll tell you the one thing I do is depending on if you say a word a certain way. For example, Phil, don't forget what she said so you can reply. This is it. Fannie Lou Hamer, Hamer, is the last name of one of the characters who's iconic, a real life character in my play. Most women came in and called themselves, the first line she has is, my name is Fannie Lou Hamer. They've come in and said, my name is Fannie Lou Hammer. You have lost me. You better be doggone good after that. That's difficult. Now, if I correct you, okay, it's Hamer, but I really want you to own it. And the woman who got it, she came in and said clearly, my name is Fannie Lou Hamer. Ooh, ooh, I can feel it even when I say it because she owned it. Phil, what you want to say about what Patricia just mentioned about the
Well, kind
question?
of like what you were saying. If they ask me if I have any questions, so first of all, I try to do so much understanding of what's happening before I get there, especially if they give me a couple of days to do it.
Mm.
That I hope I don't have any questions that will impact my performance. Now, there might be questions about the history and backstory and all that stuff later on after I get the role. But in that moment, I've made pretty strong decisions and choices to go in. So I will do what Iona says. I will say, well, not really. But if there's anything you need to tell me, if people have been coming in here and getting certain things wrong, let me know. I mean, just give me a heads up. You know, you're like, I can't stand it when they say hammer instead of hammer. You know, I will ask them if they have a question or if there's anything that I need to know that I might not know from the text. And then one of my very good friends, Andy Hill, who used to be the president of CBS, told me something else that we can do at the end of our audition. We can ask them, is there anything else you'd like to see?
Yes, yes.
Is there? I know I'm you know, for me, I'm a strong human. I make strong choices. I know I made some strong choices. It's kind of my process. This is the way I do this thing. But if there is there some other way you want me to play this that you'd like for me to do? You know? And I said, really? We can ask that? He's like, oh, absolutely. You know, I'd love it when people ask me that, even if I don't have a different way for you to go. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I got it. I got it.
I like
So
that
yeah,
too.
those couple of things. And if you don't have a question, make sure that the performance you have answers all theirs. That's my opinion. I'd try to, no, I don't have any questions. I'm going to make sure this performance is going to be your answer, not mine. I got the answer. I'm your answer. You got a question. That's why you're casting. I'm going to be your answer. So that's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel when I walk in the door.
That's strong. And you know, don't mess your own self up thinking about what anybody behind that table is thinking about, because then you can't stay in your space and give them something to think about that's positive about you because you're too busy second guessing. And we can't read people's minds, and you never know Never know what that is. And just what Phil just mentioned, I liked it when actors have said to me, "Is there anything else you need from me? Something else maybe I could do?" And I might go, or I've had been in casting when I've done that, and they said, "Well, yeah, you know what? Let's make a little adjustment, and boom, you get another shot. You get another shot."
It
Uh,
shows a couple things. It shows not only are you flexible, because a lot of times if somebody is strong with their choices, that may be the only way they can do it, and that might not be good for the company. So they may like what you're doing and think that's a great way to live in that place. But can you do this? Can you play him this way? Play him more friendly, or play him more stern, or have more fun with him. I love what you're doing, but can you have more fun with him? Those are the things they want to see if you can take direction, if they can work with you on the set. You're bringing something they like. I like you. We like you. We like what you're doing. Can you do it this way? Because then that'll fit into the machine. And the machine is
mhm.
always bigger than we are. We're always just a cog in the machine, no matter whether you're number one on the call sheet, number 35, your director, assistant director, cast, all those things, all those pieces are important. So they want to make sure that you can play well with others. And that's a
Yeah,
part of their assessment.
absolutely. Shoot, I had a thought and it went, oh, and we want to see how you're taking direction. I I gave some direction to an actor, and then he told me why he had just done what I asked. And I said, "Okay, thank you so much. I'm not going to work with him." It doesn't matter if he thought he had just done it. Quite possibly, if I didn't see it, do it again. If I didn't see it, maybe it needed to be deeper in what you were doing. But take the adjustment, take the note. And you don't have to be, "Oh, okay, great, thank you." Be just real in the moment. Take it. Some actors will say, "Okay, I got it." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't need to
Do
say
the same
anything
thing.
else." And
I'm
and
sorry.
and then boom, there it is. Or they'll do the same thing, right? And
I'm
I'll go,
sorry.
"Hmm, I was getting there." Yeah. They'll
See,
do the same
I'm
thing and I'm
sorry.
like,
I read ahead.
he read it. He was in my brain.
I read
And
ahead.
I'm like, "Ooh, they don't know how to take a note and use it." I had one like that the other day. It was I was so sad because he looked so fantastic when he walked in. I thought he would be the one, but that's okay.
Didn't
He's
do it.
coming. Which
You,
movies?
yeah, I
Huh?
know.
Go ahead.
We'll get to that in a second. I have something else to say.
Okay,
Um, I
go
did an
get you,
audition for
Coach.
something.
Bye.
I did an audition for something. I love that we're talking about this. I don't even know what we were going to talk about before, but I like this. I love
Yeah, this
this.
is totally different than what we were talking
Um,
about. It's all good. If you guys are happy, let
excuse
us
me.
know. Go ahead.
Um, so I auditioned for this thing, and it's a comedy, and it's a pretty high level comedy, and it's a kind of a reboot to play a poker buddy. And I didn't know the show that well. I wasn't a show that I watched, so the reboot was like, you know. And the casting people were fabulous. This was one of those auditions I did again because they just put me in stuff, and they're really lovely. And this was a pretty big gig, and they wanted to see me, but they whatever. So I went in and read for it, and I had so much fun with it. And then after I saw it, when I saw it before we said it, I was like, yeah, send it. I'm not getting this job. I'm not getting this job. And the reason I wasn't going to get the job is because I just didn't. I wasn't a poker buddy. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm like the dude who's like who pops out. It's like this is not a guy who fades in. He's not a part of the group. He is the group. You know what I mean? And I wasn't mad at that. I was like, well, I hope they go for me, but if they don't, I know why they're not. Because it was just like it
uh-uh.
was. I was so present and I was so forward with it, and I had such fun with it. It was almost it was like it wouldn't fit with people who were acting a little less energetic, right? And I have no idea who they're looking at and what they want. And I'm not there. It's a self tape. I'm just sending it in. My point is, I loved it. I thought it was so fun, and I honestly wouldn't change a thing. And if it wasn't going to fit, then maybe that's not what I. I mean, that's back to the question. Maybe
Yeah.
that's not the place I want to play. As big as it might be, and as wonderful as the players are. In fact, the person who's the lead in it, my character that I played was far more akin to that than it was some poker buddy. And I figured, well, they're not going to want that kind of a shine. And sure
They
enough,
don't
I didn't
want you
get the part.
outshining the guy who's the lead, baby.
But I'm not trying. I ain't trying to dim my light for anybody anymore. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? I'm
Exactly.
not. And yes, I want to work, and yes, I want to play well and be with other people, and I want to be believable and honest and all that stuff. But I have an energy in me that's my energy, and for too long, and maybe I know you can speak to this too. I have blunted and dulled my energy to be of service to
Mm-hmm.
people, to be the
Mm-hmm.
support. I'm a great guest star. I'm a great supporting actor, and I love that. But when I get there, it's my show. As far as I'm concerned, my character doesn't know they're doing a TV show. My character is the star of his own universe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I bring. If you want that, I'm with you. If you don't want that, I'm probably not going to work with you. And at this point in my chapter, in my journey, I need to be as powerful as I can be. I cannot step it down for any reason. And if it doesn't fit, then it just doesn't fucking fit. And I'm just not willing to demean or lessen my powers because I need to fit in.
Don't dim your light for nobody. You also mentioned something, baby, that I want to address about if you don't get that job, you don't know who in that room is going to be working on another project where they're going to remember you for the next job.
That's
So you
right.
always want to leave a little bit of your stank, your spice, your sauce in the room. Sure, you're going to try your best to get that job if you like it that you want. But it doesn't mean that that's the one that's supposed to be for you. There may be something else. So don't have an attitude and be mad. The casting director didn't do this for me. That person didn't do that for me. No, don't be upset about that because you just never know what the future may hold. You'll never know. I know that I've gotten called up on things. I know you have too, Phil. You didn't get something else, but man, we love that audition with such and such, and we'd love to see you for this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just never know.
And how you work is important too. Being on set's important. How you
Oh,
ingratiate
yes.
yourself with everybody else. How you respond to your call times. How you respond to your wardrobe. How you respond to the people in the makeup trailer, in the makeup room. All these things are important. It makes them want to work with you again because it you have proven to them your value not just in front of the camera but as a teammate. And there's a lot of people that make these projects go. A lot of people around, from transportation to locations. And so to be a part of that is a blessing. It's I'm very grateful because again, there's so many talented people and they've chosen you. So the way you comport yourself, I think our father taught us this more than anything. This is one of the greatest lessons
Yes.
he ever taught me.
Yes.
Is that the one monkey don't run no show, right? We heard that our whole
Mm-hmm.
lives. It's not that you work; it's how you work. And being a professional isn't just collecting a check; it's collecting respect. Come on now, bring it. Put on a t-shirt. Um, and
I really like that, honey. I'm writing that down.
it ain't about collecting a check; it's about collecting respect. So, I mean, all of that is a part of the life, right? That's the life we live.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you sign up for. And the more you can adhere to me, the more I can adhere to those tenets, the happier I am. The better I am at work. The more I work. And I've been working for a long time. I've been doing this nonstop since legitimately since I was 20 years old. Sometimes I say 17, but there's a few years there where I was doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 20 years old, 20 years, 21 maybe at the outside. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Every waking moment, every day. This is it. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
businessman. I'm not an accountant. I don't run the stock market. I don't have real estate other than the house that I'm sitting in right now. I'm an artist. It's what I
Mm-hmm.
do, and so it means a lot to me, and that's why I've lasted so long. I respect it.
Mm-hmm. And something you brought up I want to speak to. Be on time. On time is about 10 to 15 minutes early.
Are you listening, people?
Be on time. Don't be late. And if you are going to be 1 minute late, you text that AD or that UPM.
Let them know.
You let them know. Everybody's late sometime. It happens. You don't want it to, but it happens. But you let them know. And I'm going to tell you, when you're working on a television show or a movie, everybody talks. From the hair, from the makeup to the wardrobe to the camera, sound, lights, to the guys running the trucks, to everybody in catering, crafty. Everybody talks about that guest star. She's so lovely. He's so lovely. That co-star. Oh wow, I love that stand-ins are really nice. Everybody talks. And I'm telling you, if you're mean to one person, everybody will find out about it. Not just on that show. It'll be on other shows. Because remember, all of those people work much more than actors do. So if there's a makeup artist who gets a script early about a guest, because they always do. The guest on our show next week is Black woman looks like me, right? Description. They go, oh, do you guys know Iona Morris? I love her. Oh, no, we don't know her. You really need to see her because I just saw her on so and so and she was great. Oh, they're going to check you out. But if you rub them the wrong way, I promise you, they will drop a dime on you, positive and negative, and you don't want that. No one. Phil just said it. One monkey don't stop no show, and there is a number one on the call sheet, but everyone is number one. You know why? Because that show cannot get on, cannot be shot. That film cannot be done without every single person on that call sheet. Everybody has to work in concert together. And all of us have bad days. There's nothing wrong with having a bad day and just saying, I'm so sorry. I'm just having a bad day.
I'm feeling great. I'm tired. Whatever it is.
My mouth
just
shut
be real.
Right now. They will they'll understand. And baby, you'd be surprised about how they start to work on your scalp or work on your shoulders.
Oh, they'll work you out.
They'll give you a
they'll
smile.
Get the nurse will come.
They'll turn on some new music. They'll say, hey, well, what kind of music do you like? Let's put something on.
You want some hot chocolate? You know what I mean?
Right.
They're beautiful.
Exactly.
And no, it's a very small world. Small.
Very small.
Very tiny. I'll give you a quick. I would talk about makeup artists and all that. They had makeup artists on Upshaws, which Iona was just on the set, and I was fortunate enough to do several episodes.
They spoke about him constantly. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I love you. They spoke about him constantly. Every single person, from Crafty to the producers, the writers, everyone in between, spoke about how wonderful Phil is and what he brings to the show. Okay, you may continue.
Thank you. I appreciate that from them. And for my final talk, I'm going to talk about some stuff. It's very fun, very interesting. But she, fantastic woman, is married to LeVar Burton.
Okay? Oh, I love her.
And I love LeVar Burton. Right. And I had dinner with LeVar just the other day. Now, I didn't know he was going to be there. I had no idea. Just a bunch of actors getting together, and he was one of them. So could you imagine, had I been unkind to his wife, what kind of dinner that would have been? Instead,
oh, it's you.
Yeah. Oh, that, damn it. No, it was all love, man. And we sat right next to each other and we just ate it up, loved on each other, had a great time. But if I'd gone into the makeup trailer thinking I'm some whatever, treating the makeup people like I have seen some actors treat makeup people, not all, and not most of them, some. And they leave, and the makeup artist is just like, I don't want to touch that person's face ever again, but it is their job, right? It wouldn't have been a good look for me to be at dinner with LeVar had I treated his wife in that fashion. So that's a small world, man. Mm-hmm. Everybody's watching. Eyes are everywhere. In this business, it is not a big place. It is small. So, right. So be the best you can be. Take that to work.
So, baby, you want to give your final thoughts, my darling?
Yeah, I do. Super grateful, and that's pretty much my final thought is gratitude. I'm going to do a bunch of gratitude posts coming up, and you let me know what the things that you see me in or you like that I've done, and I'll see if I can work it into my gratitude post. But I have a bunch of experiences and a bunch of people in my life that I want to thank and share my graciousness and my gratitude with. Because we've just said you don't do it yourself. Can't happen alone. I've had some amazing experiences on this journey, and I want to speak about it and speak to it and give it voice and let the people who are involved with those experiences know that I love them and that they were so important to me when I was either on set or training or living in some way, driving or shooting or so I just had this hit me today. I just want to get on Instagram Live, or I'll share them on Instagram. I don't know if they'll be live or not, or recorded, and just thank um, those around me. You know, friends, family, co-workers, bosses, compatriots, running buddies, partners in crime, all the people that make your world work, right? All the people that make your world go roundy, roundy, round. Family. Um, because we don't spend enough time saying thank you. We don't spend enough time sharing our thoughts and our love with the people that we love and think about. And this is a very, very, very brief journey that we have running around this planet. If you live to 80, what do they say? You only have 80 summers. Uh, 70 of them you probably remember, because about 10 years old is when your memories really fully come into play. So I don't want to waste any of it. And I don't think I have, but I want to make sure that the people around me understand that I'm not wasting it, and that I thank them for being with me in this foxhole called life. And right now it's really challenging, and I want them to know that they are not alone. They have me with them always. They have been a great resource for me. Um, so I want to thank them. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening in my brain right now.
Mm, I love that, Phil. Before I give my final, I've been thinking about this. I just want to say this. Love your salmon shirt today, honey.
Yeah,
It looks so
thank
pretty.
you.
It's nice in your skin and everything. It's
Spring.
nice. He's sprung. My final words. Wow, this has been so exciting, you guys. I love this conversation we had tonight. You know what we were supposed to talk about tonight, which was the title. See if I'm going to get the title that I even wrote, but it was surprises, living in the moment, unexpected occurrences. That's what tonight was. We didn't have this in mind to talk about, but you see how the synergy of our hearts and minds and experiences in life met where you are? We didn't just talk about a craft, we talked about a way of being in the world together. And it was delicious and wonderful and exciting. That's what we need so much more in our lives. You know, I'm going to butcher the phrase, what man makes plans and God makes life. But you know what I mean. If you know the phrase, you know exactly what I mean. So many times we have plans of how we want to do things, of what we want to do. And then something happens, oh, and it's a problem. It's a challenge to see if you can take that problem and tweak it and make whatever you're about to do better. That's what we did here tonight. That's what I'm finding in life that makes it so exciting. And so I get so much more surprised about things in life. Because whenever there is a problem, what it really is an opportunity to see, how am I going to react to it? How am I going to make something still work even better, than what I thought? Stay fluid. Stay in the flow. You're not really in total control of your life. Don't forget, there is the universe. There is the interaction with other people and what they bring into the relationship with you that can create a spark of something new. Ah, let's go do something in the moment. Ah, let's not do anything in the moment. Ah, I find this so many times, and when I'm working creatively, oh, something happens. And whenever it happens, instead of getting mad, I'm like, well, I can get mad actually for the moment, but truth, there's got to be a better way then. Then maybe that's not the way. And it's never, ever failed me. Now that I'm more mature, because when I was younger, I went through a lot of emotion. Mm-hmm. But what I've learned in my life is this: the deliciousness of life is not always in what you expect, it's in the unexpected. And if you stay open to that, there will be more positive surprises, adventures that come into your life than what you could imagine. So stay open. And I'm with Phil. Being open means you're being grateful. Be grateful for everything you have. It is not better or greener on the other side, because the other side is meant for that person. This side is what's meant for you. And honey, love your side. Because when you love your side, magic happens. Oh, this has been such a lovely show, Phil.
Good luck, Quentin. Have fun.
Have fun, Quentin. That's right, all of you. Patricia, see you up there doing some things. Hey, you guys, here's where you can find Phil. The Phil Morris. This is where you can find me, Iona. I own a lot of gold. This is where you can find the show. Here's the information. We're here live every Wednesday. Well, I'll say most Wednesdays unless we're working. On YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a great week, you guys. So
Definitely.
great to see you. Love you, Phil. This
Enjoy.
was fun.
Love you, Ona.
And
Good
what I always
stuff,
like
you
to
guys.
say- Bye, Philly.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.